When I do my series drawings in 4 different styles, I usually use some of the best quality products out there, from alcohol markers to paint pens, color pencils, and even my wonderful ink lining pens that I think get an amazing quality line to them. But today, we're going to do away with all of that, and we're going to start from a beginner's perspective. We're going to draw Giyu Tomioka from Demon Slayer in 4 different styles, but we're going to use some of the cheapest art supplies, and that's going to be Crayola. Specifically, we're going to be doing it because this might be the only materials that some people have. Some of you are beginner artists, some of you are young artists. I know that there's a lot of young artists that watch my channel, so I want to be able to show you all at home that you can create phenomenal art with the cheapest of art supplies. And we're going to start off with the drip effect because it's kind of like a very nostalgic effect. It's one that a lot of people will do and you'll see across multiple channels. So I think you'll love this particular section and how you can achieve a very similar style without any of the expensive items. Here's where the real struggle began, and that's because these are water-based. They are not alcohol-based. So they tend to actually rip up the paper over time. They don't blend well. Most water-based really don't achieve any level of blending at all. You have to actually work in layers. And as you can see, it kind of has a spotty texture to it. Later, I'm going to use that to my advantage, but right now, it's a grind, and the tones are not that good. I mean, just look at this skin tone. But we're going to give a little bit of cheat codes here and there to optimize how it looks. I went ahead and did the crayons because I actually think it gives a really cool texture. As you can see, they actually do blend. Because they are oil-based, they actually will blend over. And they give it that nice linen texture. So I think it works incredibly well. But overall, here is where another fundamental problem happens. And that's when we're going to get into the color pencils. Because the color pencils are very, very hard, they will not blend over each other. So you kind of have to work incredibly lightly. There is no layering. It's either really hard press and you get a dark tone, or very light, but you cannot go over it. The white is non-existent. It just doesn't work at all. You can see here I'm trying sideways, all different ways, and I even tried with the crayon here. It didn't work. Like, nothing was going to get that highlight drip. So I caved. But I used a very specific white paint pen. It's the cheapest one I have from a brand that I got many years ago when I was first doing it. But I think overall the drip come out really well. I think it's just, for what it is, it comes out really, really cool. For next, we're going to do the cracked effect. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the cracked effect, it's an effect that I came up with. It's basically to make the character look like they've been carved out of stone and then have huge cracks just running through them. Kind of like if you ever see a pavement or a sidewalk and there's huge chunks taken out. It's kind of meant to look just like that. But how do we achieve this effect? Well, the easiest way to achieve this effect is to simply draw out the areas where you don't want to draw. Hey, it's a little cheat code. This way I don't have to actually draw the whole thing. But don't tell anybody. So what we do is we draw out the areas that we're basically going to give the negative space to. We're going to erase them away, and then we're going to fill them in with all black. And by doing so, that's going to be the recessed area where the cracks will form out of. And then after that, we're just going to give it a very simple anime style tone, maybe a little shading, but nothing too crazy. Once again, you can see here, the struggle is the markers, and that's because it doesn't work well with a conventional mixed media style that I like to do. I like to add lots of different textures of media. So I'll usually start off with an alcohol marker because it's very thin, work with some colored pencil work, alcohol markers, maybe again to blend some spots in, use some paint pens, and then gel pens, etc. And I'll bounce back and forth between all these media, and I'll even add some conventional paint occasionally for splatter textures. But with Crayola markers, they become a little bit of a struggle to handle just because of how much they scuff the paper up. So I wind up using the flat edged side, as you can see here. I'm not using the point and scribbling down. I'm laying it flat and basically gently scraping across the top of the paper. This way I can actually get all the texture that I want, and I can also get all the coverage that I want without damaging the paper too much, so that way I can continue to work as best as I can to get as much media down and give it some 3D effect. To finish up this section, this is where we're going to add all of the cracks. So I started off by using the color pencil, which added a very faint crack lines, but I wound up going over the top with the black because the black marker is really pungent. And that's actually a really cool thing. I do like how strong the black is. It really jumps off the page. But now let's make it seem like what Giyu would look like as a demon. For this section, I drew inspiration from 3 specific characters: Nezuko's demon form, Tanjiro's demon form, and Kokoshibo. I kind of added all 3 together into a nice amalgamation that kind of gives it its own unique style and look to it. So I added a horn, I changed the hair around a little bit to make it look a little bit more free-flowing, and I think it overall fits the character. Plus, I added a watermark that is very similar to Japanese water tattoo style, which I think once again fits the character. But for this next part, I had to do a lot of research. So I looked up the kanji symbol for water, and I tried my best to make sure that this does look as accurate, because to me, I think they use kanji symbols specifically in the eye, but to make it look reminiscent of what the demons have in their eyes, I went with the kanji symbol. So this is about 2x speed, so you can kind of see just how much care I took to make sure that it's well written and well represented. So I hope I did it justice. For the rest of it, we're just going to give it a really simple but fun coloring. I'm going to keep it very simple to what an anime style would be, because I don't want it to differentiate too much from overall what we've seen so far. So I'm going to start off basic with the markers, then work in with this blue that actually was able to punch up pretty well against the black, but I don't like how the black was showing, so I'm going to go back in with the crayon, and this black crayon comes in super rich and super saturated. I changed the hair to make it a lot darker than what his traditional hair is, because I think demons kind of become a little bit more darker in their aesthetic and in their feel. I kept the skin very gray. I basically worked with a very, very light black, and then just tried my best to scrub a white color pencil over the top to kind of give it a gray texture, but I went very, very simple. I didn't want to go too heavy. You really can't go too heavy because you just can't do much work with these color pencils. But if you layer them a little bit, or if you just use more of an anime style, then they'll blend a little bit. But you kind of have to almost test them to see which ones will be able to blend, because some colors blend and then some colors don't blend at all. I will say my favorite section is the mark that I gave him on the side of his face and the eye, because I think it is the most unique aspects to the demons, is either their demon mark like Kokoshibo has and Tanjiro has, or in this case, their eyes. That is the most unique aspect to all of the demons. They have these like immersive eyes. It's like a world unto themselves. It's their own individual mark. And something about them that eyes in this anime, they are incredibly captivating. You can almost get lost into a lot of these characters' eyes, especially the demons more specifically, because of their unique quality. With his demon side complete, we're now going to head on over to the realistic side. Now, for the realistic side, I'm going to change the hair around a little bit. I'm going to keep it more of what a realistic hair would be. I am going to keep the anime eye and the anime face structure. Reason for being, I don't want to change a whole heck of around a lot. I want to showcase about color pencil blending. This is going to be the color pencil blending showcase with really, really crappy color pencils. And that's okay, because we're going to show you, all of you at home, how you can get really cool effects. So as you can see here, I didn't fully go with the black. I kind of flicked it out. That was able to give me those nice wispy hairs that would just flow out. From there, I worked an undertone of blue into it, and then I'm going to work a whole bunch of black right over the top. But this is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little strokes, as you're seeing here. Those are what are going to make up all of the hair. A lot of blue and a lot of black bouncing back and forth between the two, and that's how we're going to get those textures. From here, we're going to start with light to dark and dark to light, depending upon where it is. For here, we have the dark on top, so I'm trying to work a lot of lights. Now, I know it's a lot darker than what you might think his skin tone should be, but that's just because I didn't have, it was very minimal with the color pencil choice that I had. But a sneaky little thing that I did was add white crayon over the top, and that crayon gives me the ability to blend into the color pencils. It gives me a waxy surface whereby I can blend them out. Another thing you can do is use an alcohol marker, a colorless one, and blend them over the top. Once again, that's kind of cheating, and we're not going to do that because we're going to work with only the cheapest of the cheap. But if you happen to have a colorless alcohol marker, but you only have cheaper color pencils, then you can blend those out that way, and then you can blend them on top when they fully dry out. And that's how we're going to get all these nice textures. I mean, I will say, for what this is and what we are seeing, I think this came out incredible. And if you do too, then please do me a favor. If you're still here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, let YouTube know that you really like the content. Because once again, I think this came out phenomenal. For all of the cheap supplies that we used here today, I think it came out really spectacular. Sure, it might not be what I normally use and all the quality materials that I use on a day in, day out basis, but I will say for what I was able to achieve, I am more than satisfied. You got a really nice texture here in the eye, really soft blending that gave a nice iris to, and you even was able to get the nice little eyelash textures. It's all about how much you're willing to practice and dedicate and experiment. I mean, have fun. Art is about having fun. Just swipe away all that color pencil and crayon bits, and we're going to call this piece complete. So thank you all for stopping by, and as always, I'll see you all in the next video.